What's up guys, Kevin Cage back with another XRP update. If you want daily crypto news, be sure to like and subscribe and be sure to tune into my next video. All links are in the video description. First off, today I want to talk about the Global Future Council on Cryptocurrencies. This recently came out and I think it is extremely telling who is on this actual council. To no surprise, we have Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple. Now, for those of you that do not know, the World Economic Forum, the WEF, and again you can find this at weforum.org, they are essentially the 1% of the 1%. Each year they gather to discuss monetary policy that essentially governs the entire globe, sustainable development goals, green, climate change, energy, things of this nature. And they have a council now on crypto assets, and there are a few projects listed here, and I'm not surprised one bit. Of course, we know that Ripple is one of the very few crypto companies that actually is attending the World Economic Forum each year, and I think this is very telling. So, if I can explain anything to you guys, whether prices go up or down short term, that does not matter. Understand, there is a much bigger plan at play and there is a massive rollout for digital currencies in the future. It's my belief that yes, we will still have fiat. The US dollar is here to stay, in my opinion. But what will happen is the underlying infrastructure, the invisible protocols under everything, will change how value is dispersed in terms of trust, efficiency, cost, everything. So everything that we know is going to change. And essentially, if I would just want to repeat this for newcomers, most of us do not understand how the strips of a credit card work each and every day, but we utilize it. Most of us do not understand how we use cell phones and they decode between different waves, but we utilize it. The same concept. Everyday people, retailers, you and I do not know how to use or do not need to know how all of this functions, but we will adopt it. So let's go through this council briefly. I want to show you some members and show you some obvious dot connections. We have people from Visa, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Ripple, Stellar, XLM. We have Catherine Coley of Binance US, and she was formerly head of literally institutional liquidity for XRP at Ripple years ago. You can't make this up. So let's dive right in. For more than a decade, cryptocurrencies have been allowing people to re-envision the financial and monetary systems. As an emerging space, there are opportunities to rethink key facets of money and payments, including privacy, inclusion, which is obviously one of the biggest add-ons for DLT, and efficiency, but only through foresight and deliberate design. The Global Future Council on Cryptocurrencies will evaluate key challenges and opportunities within the space. To anybody that tells me that crypto assets are not here to stay, that is a joke. Go listen to Brian Brooks, go listen to anybody in a point of power. There are billions of dollars in assets under management already. In the banks, the hedge funds, they've been in the space for years. They didn't come on in 2017. That's laughable. That you took the bait. That's what they want people to think. They've been behind the scenes this entire time. Right here. This is all a sleight of hand trick, just like in magic. Look here as I do this. So, in what it will take to achieve the key aims of cryptocurrencies, the council will work on technical knowledge products for regulators, policymakers to inform better governance, capacity building initiatives, I almost said incentives, and other projects of the council selection and design. So we can see right here, head of crypto at Visa. We also have CoinShares Chief Strategy Officer. Now let's dive into some of these members. All right, so a few that caught my eye. And again, I want to say thank you to I Am Legion for sharing this with me. And I just had a super busy weekend, but I've been researching like crazy. First off, Brad Garlinghouse, guys, highly recommend learning about his background if you do not know it already, but I'm going to speed through this because I assume all of you guys can Google this. All right, right here. So we have this gentleman, to no surprise, the CEO of Dubai Blockchain Center, DBCC, an impact business and strategic partner to Dubai Future Foundation. Well, why am I talking about Dubai? Well, obviously, Ripple just moved one of their regional headquarters to Dubai, and they plan to leverage and add on hundreds of, if not thousands, of partners in this ecosystem. We've heard Naveen Gupta of Ripple talk about the UAE and remittance, and you understand the year-over-year growth projections on the way. Keep an eye on this, of course. I assume that they know each other. And we also know that Brad Garlinghouse was on that book. Was it, I don't know if it was the UAE or something. It said something like Arab, and he was like one of the most influential people in payments in that whole space. So pay close attention to this. Would not surprise me one bit. Next, we have Ollie Harris, Vice President, Digital Assets, Goldman Sachs. Insane, obviously. Goldman Sachs, their hand is in everybody's cookie jar in the space. They're involved. If they're not involved early on, they get involved later. It's just how money works, guys. All right? So don't be surprised one bit. We understand their background, Quorum, JP Morgan, etc. We also have consensus on this board, to no surprise. Next, we have the Chief Executive Officer at Blockchain Academy, and what I wanted to point out here is, of course, her background, of course, the Brazilian education, but also who? What? Pix, P-I-X. We already know their connections. Literally, in the summer, we had a Ripple meeting with the president of the Central Bank of Brazil, and of course, we know Pix, the P-I-X, this whole payment system, this initiative, and they were going back and forth with Facebook. Brazil, as Ripple has been quoted to say, is a key part of their ODL strategy, on-demand liquidity, using XRP specifically in the future. We have not seen anything yet. These price swings are temporary. Bitcoin can govern the market, whales, tether volume, wash trading, whatever you think it is, or even if it's just basic technical analysis. All I'm saying is I'm not selling a penny of my XRP, a single XRP, until I have much higher prices. I'll take profits with my other altcoins, and there's going to be many projects that win, but in my mind, I just feel and I see from all of the research that XRP is obviously one of the most obvious use cases, and everyone thinks that tokenomics are crap, but you do not understand the amount of value that is essentially getting set up to be displaced in this ecosystem. Multiplier effects are powerful. XRP is a black sheep of crypto, which is one reason why I like it. Next, Catherine Coley, CEO at Binance.us. Great exchange. Links are in the video description. As we see here, she was head of XRP institutional liquidity at Ripple. So she is not only an XRP fan, she loves Bitcoin, she loves innovation in cryptocurrencies. That's something I can get behind. And you can also see her background as well. In Hong Kong, in London. Awesome. Next up, we have Denell Dixon. This is the CEO of Stellar Development Foundation of XLM, essentially. And yes, she was speaking at the International Monetary Fund Forum. So just as XRP is the big money, the wholesale interbank transfers and settlements, XLM is believed maybe to be aimed at the retail space, UNI, the central bank digital currency space, things of that nature, and tokenizing assets. So could be very powerful. And Jed McCaleb, literally one of the creators of XRP, went on and is CTO of Stellar and XLM. He created XLM. He said XRP and XLM are not competitors. They're going after two different niche markets altogether. There's plenty of space, even if they do go after some of the same markets. Not everything's trying to kill each other, guys. There's so much friction in the space. There's plenty of projects. And even on this list, we know Cardano or Emergo IOHK was at World Economic Forum, excuse me. We know Tezos is on this list as well. There's going to be plenty of great projects, guys. I don't really like the tribalism in this space. I do diversify, but I'm trying to hanker down and hold less projects because at the end of the day, I mean, 1 out of 5, or, honestly, all of this has just massive, massive upside. We're coming out of a multi-year bear market. All right. And even if there is one more dip and this is a bull trap, so be it. I either buy more now or essentially get rich sooner. That's the way I see it. Next, we have this gentleman. We have VP Global Business Development at PayPal. So pay attention, of course, and we can see various positions at even RippleNet partners like BBVA. So no surprise, new digital asset businesses. Can you see it? They're talking about all these, look, dApps, financial applications of decentralized protocols. You can't make this up. This is the future. This isn't just some idiot like me talking about this. This is actually following the news and the fundamentals and understanding, maybe you can't predict price tomorrow, but long term, when in doubt, zoom out. All right. Next, head of crypto at Visa. Greater plans. We know Visa also acquired a big RippleNet partner, Earthport, the hub and spoke model. If you get some of those, just like Pareto's law, the 80-20, the 80-20 principle, as I discussed in previous videos, the top 20% of players might actually account for 80% of all the money, the monetary value in transactions. That's what they're going after. And then essentially, it's just a snowball down a hill. It's dominoes. It's game over. Next, we have this gentleman, so GM at Wadasco. Now, what's interesting about him is also this is a Boston-based company, and of course, policy advice relating to CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and what I pay attention to since I am a big Algorand or Algo holder, the cryptocurrency ALGO, and essentially, right here, MIT Digital Currency Initiative specializing in CBDCs for the last 4 years, and also Bank of England. Bank of England, paid a RippleNet customer. MIT runs a validator on the XRP ledger and is also a big founding member behind Algorand, and they're big on CBDC development and creating a borderless economy. I talk about them a lot. I have videos on Algorand, and I'll probably do more in the future. Just understand, for the majority of these assets that are solving real problems for real customers and essentially are getting positioned to displace and change the game of technology for good, a lot of value will flow into them in due time. And it is in their best interest that they have a very valuable and successful network. They're not trying to keep their coins low or anything, unless it's essentially just to wait for the right time to roll everything out, right? So MIT, just understand deep Ripple connections, deep Algorand connections, deep research connections overall, all right? I mean, specifically even with like artificial intelligence and machine learning. That's what I'm watching. And yes, that will be integrated with blockchain and DLT altogether. Next, we have Christine Moy, lead blockchain, JP Morgan Chase. Can't make this up. Of course, you guys can, look at them, look at their LinkedIn, see if they're partners, look at, YouTube interviews, which is what I often do, and go back. And of course, you always find YouTube videos with, 50 views, and nobody sees this stuff. So that's the type of stuff that I'm always looking and watching and, learning about. All right, syndicated loans, group lending, corporate lending. This is the future. Asset-backed securities. We can talk about Securitize, which Coinbase and Ripple have invested in. They're all rooting for each other. I don't think people consider this. So I love Ethereum. I hold Ethereum, of course. I'd be an idiot not to, in my opinion. And I mean, of course, you can speculate on which assets will do better long term, but it's in my holdings, period. There's, hundreds of thousands of projects built on top of its blockchain. Now, there were a lot of people, and I mean, I even know some friends that made some big money from Ethereum. 2015, when it, was really getting started. 2017, boom. All of that money, even the Bitcoin whales, and then all of a sudden they threw some money in Ethereum, and they just kept multiplying their money, 1,000x, 5,000x. Can you imagine that? Putting in, turning $1,000 into 200K, and then putting, 100K into Ethereum at its all-time low, and even selling when Ethereum was a couple $100s. Absolutely insane. So please understand, these institutions were involved and they have big money. There's a lot of whales in this ecosystem that want to see the success. And yes, they are in Silicon Valley. They are connected with bankers, hedge funds. It's just people, guys. It's just people. They want to make money. And it's funny because the technology is actually changing the game and allowing that, but threatening a lot of the dinosaur players that exist today. Next, so we have co-founder business development at Bancor. Of course, you guys are familiar with that project as well, with DeFi and actual, essentially liquidity between these blockchains specifically. So cannot sleep on this. Another project to look into as well. We have OMG Network, again, the CEO at OMG Network. So a variety of assets, guys. It's not just one. Right here, ING, big RippleNet partner, and she was here in 2015 and is currently the Distributed Ledger Technology Program Director. So if crypto is such a scam to you guys, why do all the world's biggest banks, specifically Ripple partners like even Bank of England, have all of these DLT programs? Why are they focusing on this? Because it's changing the game and essentially creating new landscapes altogether in infrastructure. They're flipping the model of investing in open source technology and centralized systemic risk on its head altogether, guys. Every once in a while, the paradigm shifts and the pendulum swings of society, our preferences between centralized to decentralized to any type of trend. It swings, and those that can catch this trend, like some of you may have in the .com bubble, this will repeat, and this is happening in front of our very eyes. Right here, Joseph Lubin. Of course, you guys know this guy, CEO and founder of Consensus. And of course, we know with the recent acquisition, we can see Goldman Sachs. Of course, JP Morgan's involvement, no surprise. And of course, Quorum, Ethereum, etc. So essentially what I was talking about with ETH and big whales, and essentially incentivized to see a successful network in demand. And again, the rising price of Ethereum. And as the quote says, all boats rise, or, a tide rises all boats. And what I say on this channel is, yes, that's going to be true for all crypto assets, even if there's a lag. But I want to find the best freaking boat, the best projects, the best cryptos, and I want to find the best part of the wave and time it well, so then I can ride that wave and then catch the next wave and really optimize my gains and make my money work for me properly and be proactive rather than always reactive. All right. So as you guys know, I am, an active trader, but I have my long-term holdings that I do not touch under any circumstance. It's just a rule of thumb for me. It's long-term capital gains. I do not touch those. I have some crypto in my Roth IRA with iTrust. I have long-term holdings I don't touch. And then I have my trading bag where I make moves accordingly. All right. Next, we have this gentleman, so chief executive at Crypto Savannah, essentially Blockchain Association of Uganda. And we understand the unbanked, underbanked populations in, of course, South America, Asia. We can talk about, India included. We can talk about Africa. They're all focusing on this. It's not only, Cardano, Tezos, XLM, XRP, Algo. There's plenty of projects. So if I didn't name your project, don't be upset. All I'm saying is there's a lot of friction in this space. Mobile applications, unbanked, they're going to work on all of this. So PayPal's involved, Visa, no surprise. Next, we have this gentleman. So we have a PhD at MIT in international developments with a focus on risk management and technology, consulted at the World Bank Group, Harvard School of Public Health. Essentially, these are technologists. They are very smart people. They're well connected. And of course, now this is where I'm speculating big time. Go on their LinkedIn and, just see their overall network and connections. I believe they have vested interests, and I believe even Digital Currency Group, DCG, Barry Silbert, you may have heard of Grayscale, which has over 500,000 Bitcoin. What is that over? Is that over $10 billion, give or take? Yeah, I think we can assume that they have some big money on their hands to make plays, or, make plays accordingly. Right here, we have Tezos, co-founder of Tezos, Kathleen Breitman, and we can see Tezos blockchain generally curious about capital markets, finance, economics, and new ways to transact on the internet. All right, from Cornell. And I'm just speeding through them. I'm almost done, guys. We have this woman, we have Chief Strategy Officer at CoinShares. Notice right here, guys, this back in 2015 when she joined. So of course, I'm assuming maybe, into Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's safe to assume that she holds some, okay? Even early on. And at the same time, looking at current price, doesn't matter when she bought, even if she bought in 2016, that's insane. And right here, manages $1 billion in assets. We can see it has invested in over 150 companies. Oh, and look, starting at Digital Currency Group. They are a crypto company that has their hand in every single cookie jar, just like Goldman Sachs. No doubt. Focus on them. Look at them. Their hand is, yes, they're behind Ripple too. No surprise. All right, so we already talked about her. And then right here, so we have Paul Malley, managing director, and we can see right here, head of Deutsche Bank. Guys, we've talked about them time and time again in terms of RippleNet. They're, one of the big, too big to fail banks as well. Just kind of like, you could consider even like HSBC, JP Morgan, the very highly dependent banks in the ecosystem. And yes, I know there's been scares in recent months and even the past year about their overall, company valuation. Notice, banking franchise in the UK, so I'm just thinking London right there, and Ireland. We have Ripple office in Dublin as well, and runs the business development practice globally. Interesting, so we'll keep an eye on that. And essentially, so we have big banks, we have big hedge funds, we have big custody groups right here, we have crypto assets, we have consultants. You just can't make it up. They're all across the board. We also have this gentleman, CEO and co-founder, and basically, essentially, this is a massive crypto company out of South America. And I forget, because I've heard this a million times and I feel stupid for saying this, but I forget if it's Rip.io or Ripio. I've heard it so many times, but essentially, huge group out of South America. So we have that one gentleman in Africa and Uganda. We have a gentleman in South America. We have connections to, of course, all throughout Europe. We have big pushes on the BRICS nations specifically. Just understand this is a global revolution. So I encourage you guys to go through, look at all of this, give I Am Legion a follow if you are an XRP researcher in this community, and just understand the caliber of people here are not only focused on, what I read here, achieving the, goal and key of cryptocurrencies, adoption, regulation, friendly, things like that, and inclusion so it grows. But I'm pretty sure all of these people are working together to say, hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Let's make sure that our projects are listed on each other's exchanges. Let's make sure that we have significant adoption. We can do some joint ventures together. I think that's a safe assumption. So this video might have been dry, guys, but please understand, do not get down when price is down 10% for the day. This is just a taste of what's to come. Understand there is a greater plan and they will not shake me out. And I'm going to finish up with this. So I saw a lot of new job postings for Ripple. Of course, we saw recently the new chief economist to develop strategies regarding management of Ripple's XRP holdings with a PhD in economics, finance required, etc. There's greater plans for XRP. There's a massive rollout. You've heard them themselves saying, even on CNBC, there's a massive plan. Unfortunately, this is a marathon and not a sprint. And yes, we are getting several miles into that marathon finally. And I've been here since early 2017. I first found XRP at half a penny. And I remember seeing some guy saying it was going to go to $1, and I was laughing. And I had a very good understanding of investments and a background, but I did not, I didn't get the crypto stuff quite yet. So I was laughing about that. And I saw Stephen Bull from the DEP in the XRP community. He shared this, and I want to share this quote with you, and we'll call it a day. There's two problems with beginner investors. One, thinking the asset is risky when the price is low and nobody's talking about it. So exactly, you got to be contrarian and attack those assets. And two, thinking the asset is safe when the price is high and everybody is talking about it. So that's my thought. So with Bitcoin, everyone thinks Bitcoin is the best hedge. It's safe. The price is high. It's 24,000. It's going to 50,000. You'll double your money. I'm not really impressed with that. I'm here for a percentage return. I look at market capitalization, which is just a facade in this space. It's a joke metric, not used for crypto assets. Eventually it won't be. There's going to be new liquidity measurements and indices set up. And then everybody thinking that an asset is too risky when it's, at an all-time low. Those are the assets I buy. And why? Because nobody's buying it. I truly want to be a contrarian investor, and I try to live by those words. So I'm not saying any project is good, bad, or anything. I just want you guys to apply that and think about things and look at, life through a different angle if you can. So as always, guys, I appreciate all that like and subscribe. Be sure to tune into my next video, and I will see you in the next one.